Good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, and I'm glad you're joining Wishbell and I this morning. So, as you know, each day we distribute about 300 lunches or so and breakfasts to students. And we had a group of really nice parents volunteer to make some homemade masks. And yesterday we were able to distribute about 50 of those masks to people who needed them. And I'd really like to thank them for this great service to our community. Specifically, I'd like to thank Linda, Elizabeth, Reese, Jack, Grace, Sherry, Natalie, and anyone else who helped make those masks. So those were both some of our parents and some of our students. And I'm really pleased that we were able to do that. So again, lunch is available from 11 to 1 at entrance C20. And we hope to get some more masks and some more donations of people making them for our community. So everyone needs to continue to do their part. We need to remember the big 6 reminders. We need to wash our hands for 20 seconds or longer. We need to cover our mouth or nose when we cough or sneeze. We need to avoid touching our face. We need to clean high-touch surfaces often. We need to practice good social distancing, so stay at home as much as you can and keep at least 6 feet between you and others if you must go out. And finally, wear a mask in public. So anytime you go into a store or anytime you go into the pharmacy, anytime you go any place where you'll run into other people, keep good social distance and make sure you're wearing your mask. So I was doing a little reading yesterday and I found an article in INC magazine. And it was about what are the common elements that happy people do. So I'm going to share with you a list that I found, and I adapted it for us a little bit. 6 things, 6 habits of the happiest people. So first, they choose kindness. So research suggests that watching people help each other often heightens a sense of well-being. This is something called elevation. So when we feel elevated by seeing an act of kindness, we're more likely to behave with kindness also. Second, they practice forgiveness. So forgiveness allows us to look at our mistakes as part of life, which can provide awesome learning experiences and help us grow as a result. So research shows that forgiveness can help you let go and move on from upsetting situations more easily so you can enjoy life to the full. It literally lightens you up. Third, they express gratitude. I've often mentioned the importance of showing gratitude. One study showed that happiness levels could be improved by up to 25%. I would take even 1% happier. The evidence also shows that grateful people are more resilient and sleep better. Number 4, they give generously. So not just in money, but in also their time and their service. So one study of more than 600 Americans showed that happiness was a better predictor when they gave away money and gave away time and talents and invested in other people. Number 5, they exercise patience. So researchers found that people exhibiting that rare trait of patience made more progress towards their goals and were more satisfied when they achieved them, particularly if those goals were difficult, compared with less patient people. So now is the time to practice great patience with each other. And finally, number 6, something we talk about often, keep a gratitude journal. So science says that you can literally train your brain to be happy and optimistic if you journal 3 things daily for which you are grateful for. So there you have it. These are 6 simple strategies for you to consider, even if they only make you 1% happier. I would take that. So have no doubt we are going to get through this. There are a lot of smart, energetic, and thoughtful people guiding us through this difficult time. There are a lot of committed doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers who are doing their best to care for us and keep us healthy. So working together, we will get through this. Hey, come here, Wishbone. So Wishbone was up on my lap today, and This morning, Wishbone and I spent a little bit of time reading emails, and Wishbone was very happy to see some emails come through. He's always happy to get pictures of dogs, or he got one picture of one of our friends with a rock that they painted with their one word on it, and that word was helpful. And Wishbone and I thought that was a great one word for us. So if you'd like to talk to Wishbone or send him a note, there's his email address, wishbone@mtlsd.net. So each morning we try to do some breathing, because we know that breathing brings in oxygen and lets out carbon dioxide. And it makes us feel better. It makes our parasympathetic nervous system relax a little bit more. And when we relax, we have a little bit more peace and calm. So last week, we made this little chart. And it's just called Figure 8 breathing. So if you follow with me, we'll breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So here we go. Start right in the center. You have your Figure 8 chart, and this is available on the district's website under resources next to superintendent. So here we go. So in through the nose for 8. And out through the mouth. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. On one more time around, in through the nose. And just doing that simple breathing practice brings us a little bit of peace and calm. So today I'm going to teach you a technique called noting, and we'll use this during our meditation. And sometimes when we're meditating and we realize the mind has wandered off, we might not know how to react. So noting gives us some very clear direction, a greater sense of clarity and confidence. In that moment, we pause and identify the nature of that distraction. So it usually is thinking or feeling. So having noted it, there is a sense of having dealt with it. This makes it easier to let go of the distraction and gently return to the object of focus. When it happens again, which it will, we simply apply that same approach, gently noting the nature of the distraction. Now, when we begin noting, the temptation is to try to catch everything, catch that single thought and bring it back in. But that quickly becomes tiring. So we only need to note the distraction when we realize that we've been lost in thought. So even then, it's a very gentle acknowledgement. So imagine it's like a little feather softly being placed on a piece of fine crystal glass. So noting is when we recognize the mind has wandered off, and we gently pull it back to whatever we're using as our anchor. And we generally use our breath. So noting. This is a technique of noting. So it's feeling or thinking. So as we're meditating this morning, if we find our mind being distracted, which is normal, just note to yourself whether that's thinking about something else or whether you're feeling something else. All right, so I invite you to join me. If you'd like to sit for a minute and just relax, if you'd like to just close your eyes, if you're comfortable doing that. If not, you can just gaze down. And just for a few moments, we're going to sit in quiet and calm. And put your feet flat on the floor and make sure your back is straight. First thing we're going to do is take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And you can return to your regular breathing. And let's see or hear what we can hear, whether it's the shower running in the other room, or the sound of footsteps, or the sound of Wishbone. Just notice what you can hear. Sometimes we can even smell things. So I smell coffee being made right now. Just bring yourself into this place where you're sitting. And as we're breathing regularly and normally, see if we can feel our belly or chest expanding and contracting. And let's start at the top of our head and check in with our bodies. Down through our neck and our shoulders. Just noticing what it feels like, all the way down your back, through your sit bones, your thighs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, and finally down to your feet. Are you firmly planted into the ground? And we're going to use that idea of noting. So stay anchored on your breath. But as your mind gets distracted, you can either note that as thinking or feeling. And then, as you note it, gently bring yourself back to your anchor, your breath. And as your mind gets distracted and jumps around, is that thinking or feeling? You may have a little kink in your neck. That's feeling. You may be thinking about your assignment that you have to complete later today. That's thinking. So gently bring yourself back to this present moment, anchored into your breath. And let's put a smile on our face. Gently bring ourselves back into this room, the sounds, the smells, Wishbone's fur, and gently open your eyes. Keep that smile. And we end each day with a little bit of mindful self-compassion. So you can hug yourself, put your hand on your heart, or let's see if Wishbone will agree to let me hold him. And you can repeat quietly to yourself, may I be happy, may I be healthy, and may I be peaceful. Thank you for joining Wishbone and I today. See you tomorrow.